There is one thing that continues to worsen, and it is driving me up the wall. Hey everybody, I'm Cliff. This is Life with MS, and today, well, I'm kind of under a bit of a deadline to get some I'm having a hard time talking today. To get some stuff finished for a NASA project that I'm working on, and I'm out here in the garage with my DIY 1/6 gravity lunar setup, which is kind of disassembled at this point because I'm trying some other things, but that's beside the point. I'm happy because the weather's nice and cool. I got my beanie on. It's in the 50s today, so I'm feeling pretty good, though I've got some cognitive issues going on, as always, and some weird, you know how it goes, but we just have to push through it. So there's the setup right now. I'll walk you through that in a few minutes. Got my trusty 3D printer here, making some prototype parts just to test some concepts and some theories that I have. So I'm excited, I'm passionate about this stuff, and it really keeps me going, just like these videos I make just like these videos I make for you guys. I love doing this stuff so much that it's the one thing that just, no matter how crappy I'm feeling that day, with the exception of the really, really horrible days where I just can't get out of bed, which are fewer now that I'm off of some of the DMTs and on Mavenclad, which has been much kinder to me. This stuff keeps me going. And so I wanted to talk about the Mavenclad stuff. So yesterday I met with my neurologist. It's been exactly 1 month since I finished my last regimen, which is week 2, year 1 of Mavenclad. And it has been an interesting time, I have to say. If you've been following this channel, you've been there with me on this journey possibly. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe if this interests you, because I talk all about MS. The community here is fan-freaking-tastic, and we have a lot of information we can share with everybody based on experience. Okay, I don't know what that was about. The camera just randomly cut out on me. Okay, so the last week has been, or the last month has been really interesting with the Mavenclad experience. Just to sum up real quickly, if you haven't been following, I have tried Ocrevus, I have tried Kesimpta. Kesimpta had horrible sinus infections and respiratory infections that put me in the hospital. And with Ocrevus, I had a horrible crap gap experience with like crazy fatigue. That didn't work out, so I stopped that. This has all been happening over the course of the last 3 or 4 years. And I started Mavenclad this year, and I just finished my second dosing regimen a month ago, which means I don't have to take anything else until next year, and then I take it for 2 weeks next year, and then I may never have to take it again. So yesterday I went and got my blood work done with my neurologist, and everything went really well. We tested my thyroid as well, just to make sure the fatigue wasn't a symptom also of the thyroid. The thyroid stuff came back perfect. I did get the blood test results this morning. I have not talked to the doctor about them yet. They're all over the place because of what Mavenclad does to the system. And so I don't want to read between the lines on that stuff, and I don't want to freak out over it because some of it is, well, a lot of it is abnormal, and I don't want to read too much into that. So I'm waiting on a call or a report from the doctor. He's really good about it. I'm sure I'll hear back from him today. But overall, I have to say the Mavenclad has been not only really easy to take, it's been easy to tolerate. You know, the first week, the nausea was really bad. I lost about 7 pounds. And then the second week, the nausea was a little less, but what I did differently is I just continued to force myself to eat, and that made the recovery time after the dosing was done a lot easier. In fact, I rode a 25-mile bike ride the day after I finished my second regimen, which to me is crazy. Like I could not have done that on Kesimpta or Ocrevus, even after years of being on this stuff. So it is working out really well. And Andrea continues to make her awesome shirts. Multiple Sclerosis stinks. I gotta do some hats. You guys want to see some hats with these types of things on it? Let us know. We'll do some of the hats. And thank you so much for continuing to purchase the shirts and having fun with them and telling us how much you love them. It is supporting our efforts here, so we truly, truly appreciate it. Okay, God, there's so much to report. I just don't even know where to start. But anyway, so the Mavenclad has been working out well comparative to the other stuff, and I'm really excited about that. And I do look a little bit under the weather today, but you know, the weather's changing, and when it goes from hot to cold to hot to cold, I have issues. I mean, it's a thing, right? Like we don't do well in when things change with our MS, and especially in our environment. So, I'm feeling it a little bit. So it's always hard to tell if it's something caused by the Mavenclad or if it's just MS. And so I try to not think about that too much. I try not to blame everything on Mavenclad as a side effect, and I try not to blame everything on multiple sclerosis. However, there is one thing that continues to worsen, and it is driving me up the wall. And I've reported on this before in my channel, and it is my optic neuritis. My optic neuritis is driving me crazy. This eye, ugh. And it was interesting because yesterday when I met with the neurologist, he said, well, how's everything going? He tested my walking and all that. He said, it's all about the same. And then we looked at the MRI results. Everything's about the same. He said, how's the optic neuritis? I said, it's getting worse. And he said, that's the disappointing thing with this disease of many, but it's the one area we just really can't do anything about at this point. And there is some really encouraging research coming out and some studies that are being done that are showing promise, but nothing is concrete. I can't take Advil for it. I can't take Tylenol for it. I can't take Mavenclad for it. I'm stuck with it, and I just know it's going to continue to get worse. And it's not something I can ignore. I wake up every single morning, and one eye is visibly way out of focus compared to the other. And I have glasses, but because it changes in how it's happening, the glasses don't do any good. So I have like one good eye, or some days I have decent good eyes. Like both eyes are working well. Like today it's 50 degrees. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. The other day I was at my son's school picnic, and it got up to like 80 degrees. And I was out there with my cane, and I overheated in like 30 minutes. And so we decided we were going to leave, and we went to a restaurant, a nice air-conditioned restaurant, and I put the menu down in front of me. It's a restaurant I'd never been to before. I couldn't read it. I could hardly see it. It was a dimly lit restaurant, and I just couldn't see the menu. And it was funny because I was with some people that I don't see very often. Did you see what I did there? I don't see very often. And I asked them to help with the menu a little bit so we could decipher it, so I wasn't sitting there like reading it like this with the one good eye in the dim conditions. And they were confused. They said, well, you were fine earlier, like you were using your phone. What's going on? I said, that was before I got hot. And so then I had to explain to them why heat affected my vision. And to people that don't deal with this every single day and don't know the causation of this thing, it's kind of difficult to explain. And so I just said, it's like a car engine. If it overheats, it just kind of starts to slow down and shut down. That's kind of like my vision. I don't know. What do you use to explain your optic neuritis to people? Because it's a quirky thing, right? Like we feel great one day and we can see, or even on the same day, and then we can't. Like, how do you explain that? How does it not look like a total phony symptom? So comment below if you've come up with a good analogy or a good metaphor or a good simile or some way to explain optic neuritis to people that don't know what's going on, because I'm still struggling with that, and I would love some opinions on that one. Anyway, okay, so that's the update on the Mavenclad, what's going on with it. I'm still getting little bouts of nausea that come on really, really strong, and then they go away. And it was interesting, I talked to the neurologist about it. He said, well, usually that stuff is in your system for 3 days and then it's out. So it's probably not the Mavenclad. And true, it could be just the MS, but it has gotten a lot stronger since I took the Mavenclad. So is it related or not? Who knows? But that's the thing. So if you've been on Mavenclad, let me know below. Are you dealing with nausea after the fact? Like after the 3 days after you finish your stuff for the next month, are you feeling, the nausea come and go? Because it hits me hard sometimes. I'm not gonna lie about that. And I end up eating those ginger chews I've shared with you guys in the past. Those work really nice, but it does hit hard. And it's the kind where it's not like I'm feeling kind of queasy. It's like, oh God, like I'm gonna go vomit. But I never do. I'm not a vomiter. I know some people are, some people aren't. I just don't vomit. But I certainly feel like I'm going to more so than ever. So that has been interesting. Will it get better? I don't know. Will it get worse? I don't know. It's my first time on this stuff. So is it even caused by Mavenclad? I don't know. It's a confusing time in that regard. Okay. that's the Mavenclad update. I digress from that. Let's move on to the next thing. You're probably wondering what in the heck is going on back here. And I'm going to share with you what's going on. Okay, so just briefly, this is letting you in on what's going on in my life right now, other than the Mavenclad and doing the content for this channel. But I'm working on this next NASA challenge. If you don't know, and you haven't seen this channel before, my son and I won a NASA challenge about 9 or 10 months ago, where we developed a rescue system for the lunar environment for the next Artemis 2 mission launch here in February. That was really cool. We placed in the top 5, and that was awesome because I built the whole design. Him and I built the whole, he's 8 years old. Him and I built the whole design and prototyped it and everything around the idea that the astronaut kind of had MS symptoms. They were wearing a heavy suit, so they felt really fatigued. They had limited vision, and they had limited use of their hands. So everything we built, we had MS experience in mind, and it really resonated with the team at NASA, and they said, we really like this because it does speak to the limitations of working on the moon. Like MS and NASA, or MS and the moon kind of have that in common. Like, they're really difficult environments to operate in. So if you're wondering, if you're losing your mind today because your MS is flaring up, think about how badass you are. You're like an astronaut. You can do this. How cool is that? All right. So the second challenge now is because the moon is basically made out of rocks and dirt that are like super sharp pieces of glass, it destroys everything it touches. And that's true for everything we've ever sent up there. And this is just normal sand, and there's some lava rock in there because I can't replicate what's called regolith, which is the dust on the moon. So we're trying to design a way to make a wheel that is efficient, can handle like serious off-road conditions at the lunar poles where the temperatures change significantly. I'm talking temperature ranges of 400 degrees in minutes, not like over days or anything. This can happen in minutes from shadows to sunny areas. Can be a difference of 135 above 0 Fahrenheit to less than 300 below 0 Fahrenheit in minutes. And if you think about that, that is a lot of stress on material. That's a lot of stress on people. That's a lot of stress on batteries, motors, all that stuff. So there's like this mad rush to figure out if we can build something strong enough to endure that situation. And I thought, well, that's kind of like MS too, right? We don't have all the answers yet, but we're working towards them. And that's what testing is all about. This whole DIY stuff in the garage, trying different prototypes, trying different designs, trying different things, getting a better knowledge of the root cause, which in this case is the shape of the individual particles of the dust on the moon, is really what contributes to things falling apart once we send it up there. So that's what I'm working on. I won't get too knee deep in this with you right now because it's super nerdy. But if you guys are interested, I'll share this with you after November 2nd, after I've submitted all my designs and paperwork to NASA. So that's what I'm working on. Keeps the mind busy, keeps me moving, keeps my mind a little bit off of multiple sclerosis, which is a big core part of why I love doing this. It makes my brain think about the problem at hand and not the problems in the brain, if you know what I mean. So anyway, I just wanted to update you guys with everything that's going on. I've got some more content coming out, really cool stuff. Thank you so much for being part of this community. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna test a couple of these things, throw in a little bit of footage for you guys, and then I'm gonna go take a nap and go at it again. Gotta rest, I just got up. What the hell? I'm Cliff, this is Life with MS. I'll talk to you soon.
So Gavin is going to work until he's got this all smoothed out, and then that will prepare us for our prototypes, which we can't show you yet because they're not completed. They're still over on the 3D printer being done.